I'm finally starting to understand why the sorry excuse for talentless hack writers that these companies keep employing hate the gamers. And it's because they know they shouldn't be in the position in the first place, so they're trying to offset all this stuff on you, the gamer, so that you don't question them when it comes to what they're doing. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And Sweet Baby Inc.'s Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League narrative design disaster is just now beginning to expose a bunch of talentless hacks behind the scene as, in my humble opinion, straight up activists that have been caught red-handed in a position that they should not have and should not have gotten to, but because everyone's just been accepting and letting everyone into the industry and do whatever you want to do, and you're my friend, so I'll hire you on and bring you in here, and maybe you're marginalized and you're not as talented, but we're gonna bring you in anyways because we want these voices to speak for us, not for the gamers that are actually, I don't know, playing the game. Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article breaking down all the people that I could find working on this game, that most of them have some sort of connection with Sweet Baby Inc., but even the ones that don't go to show that their background really isn't that different anyway. From inception, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was met with peak skepticism. Sure, there were people excited about the game, but as soon as it dropped and people realized how they made some baffling design choices and destroyed beloved characters and killed Batman right out of the gate, it wasn't really the best thing to do when you're trying to get a good positive reaction from the gamers. I mean, yeah, sure, you got the shock value and all that, but that will only take you so far. Then you need an actual story to carry it, and these people came up with anything but that. We finally have the ending for the failed Suicide Squad game, and the game's climactic twist at the end was just a tired and uninspired reveal that the Justice League deaths were, get this, just clones all along. Not only was this super generic and extremely predictable, but more so emblematic of the shallow, unimaginative storytelling that's been completely plaguing the entire video game industry today. So I wanted to take a look at all the people working on this game from the storytelling perspective so that we can understand who these people are, how they got there, and why they had a job in the industry in the first place. Many of these folks have some sort of connection to Sweet Baby Inc., but I find it fascinating how hard Sweet Baby Inc. is trying to hide specifics about who from their company worked on the game and not to take any kind of accountability for individuality on these people. Even looking at the credits for Suicide Squad, they do not break it up into Sweet Baby Inc. worked on this game and Rocksteady employees worked on this game. They mashed them all together under story team, almost as a way to try to hide the fact that they were working on the game in the first place. As with every video discussing people in the game industry, please do not harass any of the individuals I'm going to mention in this video. This is for informational purposes only, aimed at highlighting areas for improvement within the game industry. I want more transparency and accountability from within the gaming industry itself. Let's kick it off with Ben Schroeder, who was credited as the narrative designer in Suicide Squad. He, him, NPC on X, and you'll see this pronoun trend as we go quite a bit here. Not that anyone's really surprised, but it does show the hive mind that these people have. He helped create the clone twist, and it's something that we've seen countless times, emblematic of his preference for rehashing tired ideas rather than trying to take any kind of creative risk and come up with something, I don't know, authentic, genuine, unique, worthwhile. I mean, you can't just do something in a game, give a shock value, and then at the end be like, ha, don't worry, it was just a joke. We were just pranking you, bro. It was a dream all along, or they were clones all along. None of it actually really mattered. Then we move on to Grant Roberts, who used to work with Sweet Baby Inc. His contributions to the game's writing revealed a troubling pattern. Rather than crafting any compelling characters or meaningful storylines, Roberts seems more interested in shoehorning divisive, politically charged elements that alienate the core audience. And from his old Twitter bio that's since been updated, it used to say, "Great Big Baby at Sweet Baby Inc. X Splash Damage, Rocksteady Games and Bungie, etc., Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, and of course the he/him. The inclusion of characters like the gender swap Mrs. Freeze or the Pride outfit pack felt way less like any kind of genuine representation and far more like performative pandering, which is starting to feel like it's become the hallmark of Robert's career. Oh, that and blaming everyone else for his own shortcomings, as he was highlighted in an article from The Gamer that was pushing Sweet Baby Inc. propaganda. He was quoted saying, "Sweet Baby is the work-for-hire company like a lot of these other consultant companies are. People hire us to do the work. Studios come to Sweet Baby because they want help, because they want to make their games better." And you always hear that. They want to make their games better. And how do they make them better? Because of diversity. How can you prove that diversity makes something better? Well, we really haven't heard an answer from that, but don't worry, just take their word for it. He continues, "Sweet Baby is a narrative development company that is hired by other companies, and sometimes that's for authenticity and diversity, but it's primarily a narrative company. One of the more frustrating things about this whole thing is like, this is what Sweet Baby does. They're the DEI company," which... yeah, there's a reason they have that mantra surrounding them. It's because of what their CEO, Kim Belair, stated when she was at the XOXO festival talking about how diversity is what makes them special and how they raise up marginalized voices and give people chances that other people don't get in the industry. And you're trying to tell me that, no, they're a narrative company, they're not a DEI company? How dumb do you think people really are? Then we get to Amy Lee Shaw, who her current role at Sweet Baby Inc. is known for prioritizing agendas over compelling narratives, reinforcing the perception that her work aligns more with the industry trends than any kind of meaningful storytelling. And good friend of the channel, Endymion, took on Amy Lee Shaw and was very harsh and didn't hold back with his words about her. He's not the biggest fan of her work.
And now, one of the writers of Suicide Squad who used to work at Rocksteady but left the company during development to work for Sweet Baby Incorporating instead, whose name is Amy Shaw, got really upset that IGN would side with the fans over their own echo chamber. Amy said via Twitter regarding IGN's article, "Kevin was our teammate and many of us worked with him directly for years. I would expect games journalists to know that and understand how callous it is to use his memory to stoke hatred. We do not need strangers to tell us what he would have thought. He told us himself." Of course, Amy tries to take the moral high ground here, but the truth is that the damage is done.
And while that video from Endymion was nearly a year ago, it was spot on the mark, as we see here with Suicide Squad, and how nobody wanted anything to do with this game. I mean, Yellow Flash gifted it to me when it was on sale for like $2 and change. This is a massive AAA game that came out like a year ago, and it's already completely flopped.
And what her and the team over at Sweet Baby has done to Suicide Squad? Not to mention other games like Spider-Man 2 and more, everything they touch lessens and cheapens the stories and characters within them. It's gotten so bad that the name Sweet Baby is all but considered a taboo term. It's just as bad as when customers label a product as woke. Now, openly stating your game has any relation to Sweet Baby has become code for people to avoid that product entirely like the plague. Because chances are, whatever your game is, if Sweet Baby is involved, it'll be ruined and made into a pandering mess to some capacity.
Then we move on to Sefton Hill, who once helmed the acclaimed Arkham series, and he seems to have lost his touch entirely. His lack of leadership on Suicide Squad reflects a departure from the nuanced storytelling that made Rocksteady a household name in the first place. And sure, you can say, oh, it's not all Sweet Baby Inc.'s fault. Rocksteady had their own employees that were writing the storyline as well, and they took some accountability here and did this here and took Sweet Baby Inc.'s insight on this there. The problem is the people at Rocksteady, especially Sefton Hill, didn't say, no, that's a really dumb idea, I don't want to go in that direction. He said, yeah, sure, we'll do that. What could possibly go wrong? The collective failure of these writers underscores the harsh reality in the gaming industry, one that people like them continue to offload on fans instead of being accountable themselves. They're activists masquerading as storytellers, clinging to jobs they're unqualified to hold. Sorry, not sorry, someone's got to say it. All these people involved with Suicide Squad all need to take some accountability for the game's massive failure. Instead of crafting narratives that respect their audience and the source material, they churned out a politically charged, uninspired piece of slop. This isn't just bad writing, it's emblematic of a deeper problem within the game industry, a prioritization of their own selfish ideologies to hide a lack of talent.
And as one user on Twitter said regarding Amy Shaw's involvement with the script and all that, it now makes sense why biographies for characters like Green Lantern are so terrible, because they've been written and overseen by liberal white women who believe it's their moral duty to be saviors and inject as much political jargon as possible into everything that they do.
And like I said, it's not just Sweet Baby. Rocksteady themselves need to take some accountability on this as well. And there are a lot of people that I didn't even mention in this video that have something in common when you start going through their profiles, their LinkedIns, their Instagrams, where everything's protected, privated, he, hey, they, them, the, this, that, colored hair. They literally have all the signs of some sort of mental illness that they're putting out there for everyone to see, and then complaining when people are like, well, I think we know what the problem was here, and I don't know how to tell you this, but it's you! Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League will forever live on as a reminder to the entire games industry: when you allow activists to write your game, the results are financially dire. The game's narrative features, combined directly with Rocksteady's steep decline, highlights the dangers of allowing these kind of unqualified individuals to attempt and shape long-beloved franchises by gamers. We deserved a compelling story, a proper tribute to Kevin Conroy's final performance as Batman, but instead, we're given a hollow, predictable mess that leaves a stain on Rocksteady's once golden reputation. And I gotta be honest, as I was going through this, putting this article together and getting all this information for this video, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Many of these things were archived and old things because they've canceled out, closed out, deleted, removed, tried to take any kind of internet footprint away so that people can't find them, because deep down, I'd like to think they do know that they suck at this. They do know that people are going to be asking who these people were, what they were doing, and ask questions about it. And again, I don't want anyone to harass these people, but at the same time, we need to be bringing people into the industry that will raise it up, tell special stories, take it in new directions that we haven't seen yet, do something special to push the industry forward, instead of what it looks like is completely holding it back. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. I will link it in the description. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Just losing out on a fun game or some experience that they don't get to have, they're also standing in the way of your progress, of the creator's progress. And so overall, I think we need to stop thinking that our core demographic and our core marketing demographic has to define the demographics of our creative content, and instead start assuming that players want new stories.
As you can see, Kim Belair genuinely believes that video games specifically do not exist for your enjoyment anymore.
No, Kryptonian, you're indubitably too disco-bobulated to fight. Don't you know, Brainiac? Anything's possible with a little help from your friends.
Thought he meant us for a second, but of course he meant bats. Ow! That says
The criminals.
that's us. Did well following his plan. Though how'd we figure out Brainy had cloned the League? We were like, there were clones?
Smash, J, smash, smash.